Welcome back to the JMach Podcast, where we are combating veteran suicide one story, one conversation at a time. And I'm your host, JMach. Remember, your mental health matters and you're not alone. Don't hesitate to reach out and pick up your phone and call your friends or family, or head over to jmachpodcast.org to stay connected and get on our social medias. Now enjoy the show.
Pretty much up and over in the front, and then just everything forward. Yeah, for sure. And then
Take like a little bit off the top.
I was about to ask you. Take a little bit off the top.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what made you want to get into podcast?
I didn't, dude. What started it all is I saw this meme that my buddy posted about doing the 22 push-ups a day. And it said, like, stop doing the push-ups, pick up the phone, and call your buddy. And I was like, oh, shit, that's a great idea. And then this idea came to my head to, like, call veterans just to check up, see how they're doing.
Okay.
And I pitched it to a former professional baseball player, but due to liability reasons, he wasn't interested.
Oh, wow.
I made the decision to tell my therapist I had this idea, and she tried to trick me into going live in her office, telling all my friends that I was going to start this venture. And I was like, I ain't doing that shit, but I will go home and post a video. So November, Veterans Day of 2020, I believe it is. I think I launched my first episode or announced it.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that therapist, that's for sure.
That's dope. And you've been getting a lot of feedback and everything off of the podcast?
For sure, dude. Like, I don't think the numbers, statistically, the numbers doesn't show the impact that we're making.
Okay.
The amount of people that reach out and show support and just want to be, we have more people that want to be on the podcast than we have time for right now.
Okay.
Which is a great blessing, but it's also a curse because I feel like, oh, dude, we can help and reach so many more people. So I just got to stay focused and not step out of my comfort zone. I keep adding these different projects and I keep telling myself, all right, no, go back to just focusing on the podcast.
Yeah.
So
That's dope.
yeah, absolutely, dude. And I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I broke a 2.5-year sobriety to do this podcast because I was like, man, I can't talk to anybody or I can't have a great conversation unless I'm drunk, you know?
Yeah.
That's just a lie I told myself. And I actually lost my train of thought.
You actually broke your sobriety
Yeah,
because of
the
the
podcast.
podcast?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel, like, that you broke it?
I had no problem with it in the moment. I didn't necessarily want to, but I was probably excited to drink again. And I told myself it's going to be different this time. I'll control it. I'll only drink while I'm recording the podcast. Next thing I know, I'm almost blacking out before we start the podcast. You know what I mean? And then I feel like I didn't even give that good of an episode when I was drunk. When I first started this, bro, I was afraid to be on the camera. I was afraid of everything. So I procrastinated it. Say it went live at 7, or I was supposed to post it at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
I called a buddy I knew at 6, and I'm like, bro, help me out. And then we would make a makeshift ass fucking recording, and I'd only post the audio for it. I think I got back on the sobriety train, got introduced to Corey, our audio engineer, who podcast manager pretty much.
That's dope.
And we've been taking off ever since. He was part of the influence to help me change my name from my original name. And that was a fucking hard all on its own because that was like me losing my baby, bro. Like, I built absolutely nothing into something. We were hosting veteran meetups, recording at Arizona Organics. But I was fighting a stigma that I wasn't. First of all, suicide and mental health has a huge stigma already, and I wasn't even able to fight that stigma.
Yeah.
Because I had to battle the stigma behind my name. So I changed it, made it more about me, like who I am. So my name's Josh Mack. Podcast is JMach Podcast, right?
Yeah.
And that's been very, very influential and had a huge impact on us, bro. I feel like I went down last year because I didn't host any events or do anything. But, bro, we moved into our own studio. We had a lot of different growth.
behind the camera, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Let me use a hairdryer real quick.
Cool.
Well, that's dope, man. Like, starting from nothing and building something.
Yes, sir. It's actually something I need to reflect on more.
Yeah.
I gotta pause and look at the growth, where I've been and what I'm coming through, right? Because the finances aren't where we would like them to be, or there at all, per se. And it plays like a huge toll on your, like, dude, are we successful? Are we doing things? But I'm not in this for the money, but the money's gonna be nice and allow us to do 10 times more than we're able to now. But this is more about first saving my damn self, and then like saving whoever else I am able to.
That's dope. You're in it for others.
Yeah, I'm actually passionate about it. That's not just for the money or the likes and shit like that.
Yeah. That's dope.
So enough about me, Cisco. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude, my pleasure. What got you into cutting hair, bro?
One of my cousins, he passed away, and I always wanted to cut hair as a kid. But one of my cousins, he had passed away, and I was hanging out with his brother a lot. And me and his brother, we clicked, and he's a barber as well. So I went ahead and just told him one day, hey, I want to apply for barber school. And sure enough, he's like, all right, well, I'm going to send you all the information. I was like, all right, for sure. Once you send it to me, I'm going to apply. I thought he was bullshitting. And sure enough, he sent it to me, so I was like, all right, well, now I got to apply, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm over here applying, and I'm probably not going to even get in. They called me like 2 weeks later, hey, you got in, you know, so-and-so come in, and I got a grant to go into school.
Oh, dope, dude.
So with the grant, it pretty much helped me pay for barber school.
Yeah.
And all that, I did that for like 8-9 months. You have to get 1,500 hours. But when I was in school, you had to get 1,500 hours. As soon as I graduated, they changed it over to 1,200 hours.
Damn.
That's really great.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, I already did my time in school, so I hit up Tommy, the manager here, and talked to him. I known him since I was a kid, and he actually gave me a job offer, like, right on the spot. So I was like, all right, cool. So I went ahead and took it, and I've been here for 3 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
It's fun. It's challenging at first, but you're just trying to meet everybody's expectations, all your clients, make sure you guys are very transparent with each other about like the hair and how it should look, how it's not gonna look, you know.
For sure.
We had some clients come in here and show us one haircut, and it was like, well, you have different texture hair, you have, you know, it doesn't flow like theirs. We could get it there, but it's just gonna take some time, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So it's been an experience for sure, but overall, it's been a good experience. It gave me an opportunity to go buy a house recently, so
That's amazing, bro.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's that? How nerve-wracking is that for you?
Buying a house?
Yeah,
Oh man, I'm still nervous, you know what I mean? And I'm already there.
for sure.
But it wasn't bad. It was pretty good overall. It's just the process and everything. The team I actually had on my side was really, really helpful.
That's good.
So that was a plus.
Do you cut their hair?
No, I don't. I actually met one of the guys from Tommy because he actually cuts his hair.
Okay. It's got to be like a community in here. Like, everybody knows somebody.
Oh yeah.
And all you got to do is get out of your own way and just ask.
Yep, exactly. So it's not what you know, it's who you know nowadays, you know what I mean?
For sure. I remember hearing that as a kid. So how do you help keep yourself out of the way? And how do you open up and ask for help?
You just have to have that confidence in knowing that asking for help, everyone looks at it like, oh, they're gonna make fun of me.
For sure.
And you can't feel like that. You can't really be that person that's afraid. You have to be open-minded. Like me, I'm really open-minded. I'll hear everything. Even if I feel like it's wrong, I'm gonna hear you out. Maybe because it might be something that I'm not used to, you know what I mean? And whatnot. So, me personally, like, I'll just ask for help. Hey, you make fun of me? At the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you, well, I don't know what I'm doing, you know what I mean? I'm asking for help for a reason.
Yeah. Dude, it's so hard not to be afraid of that judgment, right?
Oh, for sure.
Because that shit still holds me back in places.
Yeah.
What's really been helping the podcast grow is LinkedIn. And I'm intimidated by LinkedIn, bro, because I have all these like self-limiting doubts about myself. Like, I'm not professional enough to be on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not where I need to be on LinkedIn, but man, all you gotta do is put yourself out there and the right people will find you and show you the support. Like, I just got connected with, I don't know how this guy's gonna play a role with us, right? But he helps college athletes get NIL deals, and he's an agent for professional athletes, and he's out here in Scottsdale.
Okay, that's
Just the fact that like we connected, I feel like that he connected with me, right? So he added me.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's a huge step in the right direction. We're at least getting eyes on in different aspects of life.
Yeah.
That's what I really like about it. The podcast, my original name had veterans in there, right? And I still talk. Our mission is to combat veteran suicide, one conversation, one story at a time.
Yeah.
But I like to say, you know, when you're on the airplane and the oxygen mask drops down, they tell you that you have to put it on yourself before you can put it on others.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say us as veterans have collectively started to don the mental health mask, and now we're ready to spread throughout our community to help rebuild and regrow.
Okay, that's dope. Just have a better impact on everybody.
Yeah, because like, how can I build something that supports mental health, but then you come to me and say, hey, bro, I need some help. Can you talk to me? My first question will be like, are you a veteran? You tell me no, and I'm like, all right, piss off.
Right.
That's not the person I am. Plus, I'll have like mad guilt that like, dude, if something happened to you, it's all on me now because you reached out to me and I turned you away. Like, how can you do that shit? And I actually got out of my own way by going to Arizona Organic's 10-year anniversary, right?
Okay.
Because to promote the podcast. That was my first time out in the public space other than posting online. And I thought I felt comfortable there because they're either going to be too stoned to care or they're going to show the support, right?
Yeah.
And I recognized like last week that the reason I like people that smoke weed and cannabis is because everybody that does is just so used to being judged.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking hate being judged. But they understand. Cannabis users, I'd like to say, understand what it's like to be judged. So it's easier to connect with them.
Yeah. Makes sense. Because they have that mindset of like, well, you don't like it, I don't care. You know what I mean?
For sure. And it's not like they're just going to sit there and bash you. They're just going to move on, right?
Yeah.
But to be fair, even with all those limiting doubts and thoughts that I just expressed, I can't even think of a time that I was shown disrespect or somebody talked shit to me because of what we were doing.
Yeah.
I know in the past, people would like look at me after I said the name and they would judge me off of the name versus what we were all about.
Yeah.
So being able to take that factor away with the new name change and all that, it's been exponential in growth for us.
That's dope.
So what's your childhood like, bro?
My childhood was little everywhere, bro. Sometimes we were moving, sometimes we were staying still, sometimes, you know, I have a lot of siblings, so we're always outside and doing something instead of being inside. Nowadays, you have the iPad kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And back then, we didn't have iPads. We had outside, you know what I mean?
We were lucky to have TV.
Right?
Not that we're like that old. I ain't trying to pull one of those. We had to walk uphill in a snowstorm barefoot both ways, right? But, yeah, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. You know, I have 3 stepbrothers and I have two like siblings that are by blood.
Okay.
And then I have a half sister, but to us, bro, we never use that. We never, oh, this is my stepbrother, this is my half sister. Hey, they're my siblings, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, we grown up with each other our whole lives. We can't just be saying that.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
And as a family, like, we're very family oriented. We like being around each other. We like hanging out.
That's good.
Yeah, so my childhood was pretty cool. It wasn't bad, you know what I mean? There were rough spots, but nothing like I could handle. You know what I mean? It didn't break me. So.
That's good. in my opinion, everybody has a good and a bad childhood, right?
Yeah.
There's good aspects to it, and then there's absolutely horrible aspects, and we just can't compare our childhood to one another, right? Because those kids or individuals that had a potentially worse childhood, if we were judging, they also got taught a different mental standpoint
Yeah.
to be able to handle things or how to navigate things, right?
Yep.
Not that it's always right or wrong, but there's just way too many variables to judge. Like, oh, this happened to me, but it didn't happen to you. My life's worse. Like, no, that's not the case.
It's not always the same story, but it could be similar situations.
Absolutely. That's what I love and try to do about this podcast, right? Like, we come from two different walks of life, right? But when I talk about your childhood and your life, it really shows how similar we really are. Maybe not even in the events that happen, but the emotions and triggers and coping mechanisms and everything that comes from it or comes with it, it really connects us all again. So it just proves you can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah. Facts. And, like, one thing I always was told as a kid is, like, don't be afraid of doing what you want to do in life, because the only one that's stopping you is yourself.
For sure.
And that's one thing that's always stuck with me, because this isn't my first trade.
Yeah.
I done auto collision, I done pipe fitting, I done construction, I done, you name it, I done it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't limit myself. I always want to do more, and I want to keep going and keep pushing myself for the next step.
Okay. So what is your next step then?
Honestly, depending on how everything goes in the next 2 years, I eventually want to open up something for my own and hopefully get my second house, you know.
Okay.
So I just want to level up, elevate from here.
Absolutely.
Because especially having the team that I have today, like, on my side, it wouldn't be possible without them. Like, coming down to my family, to my lady, to the people here at work, the environment itself, like, it's cool, it's fun, it's relaxing, it's not one of those jobs where you're like, oh, I gotta go to work today, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's actually something I do want to do. So overall, it's really fun, like, just getting the learning experience, being around all these people that are happy, you know what I mean, and not always down. And
For sure. There's a saying that if you're the dumbest one or if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Facts.
Because then you can't level up. Nobody can help you improve.
Yeah.
And I think the cool thing about this barbershop is, like you said, everybody does seem like they're in a genuinely good mood every time we're in here.
Yeah.
But it's like you're just hanging out with your boys. So, like, every day you're getting a form of group therapy, whether you realize it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because today you may love your girl, but tomorrow you may want to bitch about her for a second, right? Like, you just got to get that shit off your chest.
Yeah.
You have people to do that with, and then you're not just holding on to that shit by yourself. And then I feel like everybody in here is from all walks of life, whether they're married, engaged, dating, single, and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hear the different perspectives from everybody. You were saying earlier, like, you'll listen to people even if you think they're wrong. I think that's a great thing, because even with this podcast, bro, we can learn from everybody. Even if you're in the dumps and doing everything wrong, I'm able to learn from you and see what I'm doing in my life that emulates what you're doing in your life. And I'm like, all right, well, that's a negative. Let's work on that. Or vice versa, dude. You're doing everything right, and I see you're growing or XYZ, and I want to emulate that, bro. I can take what you're doing positive and add that into my life and how I can do that or make changes.
Yeah.
So we can learn from everybody.
For sure. And I talk to someone new every day. So it's just like being there for that person that they don't even know that they need to talk. Being there for that person that there's some people here that they can't wait to come into a barbershop because they don't have anything at home. They don't have anybody to really talk to like that. And as soon as they get here, it's a therapy session.
For sure. I was just about to say that. Like, your job has to feel like you're a part-time therapist as well.
Yeah, facts. And it's fun because you never thought, like, oh, you could be that, you could do that for somebody. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like, it's easy. You're just literally having a conversation.
Yeah, you're literally just holding the space. You're just being that person that's there to listen.
Yeah.
But the best is that you're non-judgmental in a sense, right? Like obviously
Of
you have
course.
your own viewpoints and opinions, but you're not going to sit here and bash the dude that's about to pay you for a haircut, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to show him respect, and people don't always get that or have that. I remember there was a time that I was working on the Air Force Base here after I got out of the Marine Corps, and I was mowing the airfield, and I was sitting in that glass box going like 2 to 3 miles an hour up and down all day. Bro, I could not wait to sit in my car and listen to talk radio, and I hate talk radio. But I'd get in there, I'm like, all right, dude, I'm having a conversation with these motherfuckers. All right, I'm not alone anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, that just goes to show me that, bro, I was self-isolating even at work, unfortunately, right? And self-isolation is a huge detriment to my mental health.
Yeah, and I noticed that with a lot of people is that a lot of people they're afraid to talk. They have like, honestly, to me, like I feel like after COVID, it fucked up everybody's like
Yeah.
mental stage, and with
For sure.
that is like, you can't be closed off. You can't be to yourself. It's good to be to yourself, but at the same time, there's like you have to limit that.
Yeah.
You have to actually have a conversation. You have to be sociable. You have to be. You have to go out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And people nowadays, a lot of people are just locked up in their room or in their house, and they're like, nah, I'll be out next week,
Yeah.
and they don't ever go out. And,
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
and that right there will just mess with you mentally.
Dude, absolutely. Because, like, being by yourself, there's a peace that comes with it, right? Like, you don't have to deal with everybody's bullshit or have to worry about the judgments and your insecurities and X, Y, Z. But then it becomes, like, dangerously addicting, right? Because now you're alone. You're alone with your thoughts. You're alone with your feelings. You're not growing at all, dude.
And that's the worst is when you're overthinking. That's when you start getting depressed. That's when you start feeling all these different types of emotions because you never felt like that. Because you're spending too much time by yourself.
For sure. How do you battle that besides going to work? Like, how do you make sure you get out too? Or do you just use work as your escape?
I use work. I'm always busy, bro. I'm never at home. Like now that I bought my house, hopefully I can get to stay home a little bit more.
For sure.
But I'm never home. I'm always out and about. My days off, I always have to go do something. I always have to stay busy because I never was the type of person. I want to stay here at home and just lay down all day, be in the same spot. Like my body hurts. Like I don't want to do that.
Right.
And just work, being with my family. I love working on cars, so I go and help out my family with their cars and whatever. So, when I say working on cars, we're remodeling cars. Like, we do lowriders.
Okay.
So we do the whole nine for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my whole family. I have a. What is it? A Ace 4. My dad has a 68, a 77. My brother just bought an 80 El Camino. My uncle has cars. Like, we love cars in our family. So that's one thing that we like to do is just mess with the damn cars. And when you're stressed out, hey, just go work on the car.
Yeah, you'll be sure to get a bloody knuckle somehow.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It's good that sounds like you have some like good stress relievers, whether you recognize it or not.
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, we don't realize that. Like, oh well, if there's too much going on at home, I just go in the garage and crank down some tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you journal at all?
I don't. I never have. I've never been the type of person to read or write like that.
Yeah.
I always been more of a hands-on person. Like I want to go get dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was hard to transition into barbering from being outside every day to being inside every day. And I'm just like, dang, I don't get enough sunlight no more.
I bet, dude. I don't know about you, but man, when I moved out here, other than like grounds maintenance, I also started to do construction. Bro, my body's too old for that. And this heat, bro, and the sun, it's not for me.
Yeah, it be hot sometimes, bro. But I lived here my whole life. I've been here since I was born, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of used to it now. Because where you from originally?
Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like completely different.
Yeah, for sure.
I used to complain about this dry heat, but like the more I reflect back on it, like when you go outside in the summer in Illinois, bro, like it feels like you just stepped out the shower and put your shirt on because of all the humidity. So you're just
You
all
start sweating,
yeah, bro.
all sticky.
This is just like fucking hot and you're melting, but you don't feel nasty, and you don't need to go shower again after you just showered. I am starting to miss the seasons a little more though. And now that I have young kids, I want them to experience living in the snow.
Okay.
My wife thinks she can handle it, but my wife's from California, bro, and
Oh, no.
I love her, but I don't know how long we'll make it. But at least a year would be cool.
That'd be nice.
Maybe be like reverse snowbirds.
Right?
I don't know why I would do that though, but yeah. Or even moving up like a little north of here, man. It doesn't even sound that bad. Like Flagstaff, Sedona, Williams, all that area.
Yeah.
But like a more reasonable price.
Makes sense.
What are some of the struggles that come with being a barber?
Just trying to perfect your craft. Because you want to do it overnight. You want to be that. You want to be him. You know what I mean? Overnight, and it doesn't work like that. I'm 3 years in the game, and I still have a lot to learn. I still have a lot to overcome, and it's just everybody has their struggles. And one of mine is making sure that the client's satisfied. And I don't think it's a struggle. It's more of a concern for me, where like, okay, I want to make sure you're happy at the end of the day. I want to make sure that you get what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want no problem. Like, if there's anything you want me to fix, let's fix it. Let's do what's right. At the end of the day, I want to get better at my craft, and I want you to come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. And like I said earlier, it's just trying to be transparent with the client, especially if they don't have the hair texture that they want, or because we could get somebody with super, super straight hair, and then they'll send us a picture of a person with coarse hair, and like, oh, well, I want my cut to look like this. So like, well, the thing is, your hair is super straight, so it grows out like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coarse hair will either be curly or whatever it is, and like, well, I want my fade to look like that. Like, well, you guys have two different types of hair, so we could get it as close as we can, but it's not gonna be 100% there. And it's just trying to convince the client for that. And I mean, as barbers, we're supposed to just help them out and guide them in the right direction. But there's some clients that are like, no, I want this. No, I want this. Cool. I'm going to get you what you want, but it's not going to look like that. And then they find out, like, oh, maybe you were right about it. Like, told you.
But you can't glue the hair back on.
Right?
Does it ever go really bad?
I had one client that he told me, he's like, I want to keep the hair on top. Keep it on top, everything on the side, shaved to a 0. I'm like, a 0? I was like, are you sure? Like, you don't want to fade? He's like, no, I've done it before. So I'm like, are you sure, bro? Like, I want to make sure I'm giving you the haircut that you want. And he's like, yeah, man, I just put it up right here, and I want all this shaved down. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went ahead and I didn't even go skin bald. I just went clipper close. And I went all the way to where he wanted it. He comes back like maybe 5 days later. Started tripping. He's like, hey, my hair is now. I'm like, hey, slow down, bro. Like, I told you the day of when we did the haircut, it's not going to look good. I wouldn't recommend this, but you kept on insisting and about you wanted that cut, so I had to give you what you wanted, right? And it's not on me. He's like, all right, then. And he walks away like, fine. I'm like, because he had to realize, like, hey, I did go this far and actually ask you for this. And it's sad to say that he didn't really come back at all after that. So, but, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you asked me for the haircut. I gave you the haircut that you wanted. Like, and we went about it like that. Like, I can't do much more.
For sure.
5 days later.
Yeah, and 5 days later, you know what I mean? Like, you already have a hair growing back, bro. Like,
Think about it.
his girl definitely was harping on him, so he had to come take it out on somebody else.
Right? But I even confirmed and I double checked, triple checked, and I was like, bro, are you sure you want this haircut? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, bro. I can't convince you not to do it then. But yeah, we had some clients, and not only me, but everybody has that one client that they want to bash on you, or they want to, dumb you down and make you feel like you're not that person. But in reality, it's like, bro, like, you're asking me for these haircuts, or they show you a picture of a certain haircut, and you can't provide it for them because they don't have the same hair texture, whatever it is. And they get mad at you, but you sit there and have the consultation, and that's the most important part, is consultation. Because you take an extra 5-10 minutes out of before you start the haircut to just make sure that you guys are both on the same page. So it just all depends on the barber, on the client, how they both are working with each other and whatnot. But I mean, every dog has those days, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. What helps you staying calm and like realizing like, all right, dude, you may not like it, but I did what I needed to do. What I'm getting at is like, what helps you not match energy? Like if he's coming in hot, how do you stay calm?
Me, I don't care for confrontation like that.
Okay.
So I just try to like be more reasonable. But if you're gonna sit right there and like just bicker and bicker and bicker, yeah, you're gonna piss me off. Then I'm gonna have to, hey, bro, you chill out already, like.
For sure.
But it's just, I guess I dealt with that my whole life, like just with siblings and my dad and everything picking on me. I just learned how to like, whatever, bro, brush it off. I brush a lot of shit off, like, I don't care, bro. Just because that's just how I was raised. And my dad told me, like, anybody in here could tell me the worst of the worst. My dad already told me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I respect that from him, because at the end of the day, like, all these comments, all these concerns about everybody's coming at me, whatever, don't faze me. Because I already know how to deal with it. I already know what to do to de-escalate the situation.
Right. So it helps you now, but let's go back to like, how did that feel as a child hearing those things?
Oh, I thought he was just picking on me my whole childhood.
Okay.
I was like, man, what the hell did I do to you? Get off my case, bro. Like, there's this one thing that this one comedian that he's like, man, my dad's biggest upset for him is watching me chill. He's always on my ass. He's telling me to go do something. He's like, what do you want me to do? Like, I just did everything, you know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of how I felt with my pops. But my pops just wanted us not to be lazy.
Okay.
And I can say none of my brothers are. None of us are. Like, we're not lazy. If we have to get up to go to work, we're going to get up and go to work.
Right.
And at the end of the day, like, I'm happy that he was like that.
That's good.
It helped all of us grow up and really figure out what we want to do. My dad gave us the opportunity. And I'm telling you this because it's like, it's a real moment. It was a real thing that happened. Is my dad turned around and told us, hey, either if you're not gonna go to school, drop out right now, I'll buy you your first sack. Because what else are you gonna be doing?
Right.
And he was real about it. He was like, because there's two things you're gonna do: start selling drugs or be a panhandler. He was like, you figure it out. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna stay my ass in school. I ended up doing 3 different schools at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to high school. I went to Barber college. I mean, not Barber college. That was after high school. I went to trade school, which was it was called JMach for the auto collision. And I did, it was called an ACE program. And pretty much I was doing college classes in high school. So I was in college doing all that. And I did that for 2 years.
Damn.
So I only have like 2.5 years of my associate's degree left.
Okay. Are you gonna go after it?
I eventually do want to. Like I said, I want to see what's gonna happen in the next like 2 years for me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go based off of that. Because I feel like in the next 2 years, I should be pretty set about what I want to do for the rest of my life. Hopefully, at least.
Yeah. What I'm recognizing is you gotta start planning it, writing that shit down.
Yeah.
And like everybody talks about manifestation and how real it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is, dude, but it also helps you just seeing what you want in the future and then what steps you need to take. Because I've always been the person like, oh, I got the future, I'll just wait till then. And I've always been told, just wait, just give yourself time, it's gonna fall in place. Well, the more I gave myself time, the further away I got from whatever I wanted. And then you just have to act on it, bro.
For sure.
But you already got a lot going on, so I'm not like saying anything bad, right?
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. Because I'm the same way. Like, I told myself by the time I'm 25, I should have my first house. And I'm 25. I'm gonna be 26 this June.
All right.
So
Just in time.
you know what I mean? I made sure I was gonna get it. I was like, I have to get it. And I was gonna wait until my birthday, actually. In June to actually start looking. And I was talking to a mortgage lender, and he told me, he's like, bro, why don't you start looking now? Because June, that's hot season for them. That's everyone's looking for a house because the kids are out of school. They have their tax money, and now they saved up because they want to go look for a house. The kids are all there. They don't have to pull out the kids from the school to go look at a house. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I was like, hey, that's smart. And we started looking. I looked at 30 houses before I chose the right one.
For sure, dude.
And like they said, it's not just you're not just buying a furniture, you're buying a house. So I was like, all right, for sure. And I was like, nah, this one's too small. No, this one's too big. Nah, this one this. Nah, this one's that. You know what I mean? Like, I was really like, I don't really care for this. Like, we need something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, it's a huge commitment, bro.
Oh, for sure.
Because what, the loan's at least 30 years, roughly?
Yeah, 30 years.
I haven't been anywhere for 30 years.
I think the only person I know that lived somewhere for over 30 years is my stepmom and my grandma.
Really?
Yeah. My grandma actually bought a house when I was born. So she's once I turned 30, her house would be paid off.
Oh,
That's how
cool.
she tells me. And I'm like, dang.
So that's my house then, right, Grandma?
Right?
Throw a party for her on your birthday.
Right? Yeah, and I don't know, it's just one of those things where when I became a barber, man, it was it opened up a different door for me. It did a lot for me in ways I didn't think. My mom actually told me not to become a barber when I was a kid.
Really?
Because back then they didn't make no money. They had to get 30, 40 clients a day just to make something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, I'm going to take on 10 clients and I'm okay. And I feel like for me, 10 clients in a day is solid. If you do 13, hey, that's even better.
Right.
On a slow day, I want to do 8.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just all depends. And with that being said, is like, you could kind of map out your check. If you could do 40 haircuts in a week, okay, I'm going to get paid this much, roughly.
Right.
So it's one of those things that are good. It's good, then it's bad because you kind of like, oh, well, I could choose this. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's always room for growth here.
Yeah, I feel like it gives you that freedom, but that freedom also comes with the curse if you let it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can make your own schedule to a degree. You can accept the clients you want, or like, nah, I just don't feel like doing it. But it all comes down to that mental toughness of doing what you need to do even when you don't want to.
Yep.
If you could do it all over again, what would you change?
Like, from when I started barbering? Or,
Yeah.
Or just in general?
Both.
So, in general, I just wish I would have paid a little bit more attention in school. Yeah, I know they say we don't need it, but like my trade schools, I wish I would have just paid more attention in them. Cause I had friends, I wanted to fuck around, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, and it's not beneficial.
Right.
Especially for the future.
And
Because now, like, I could have, instead of me asking about something, I could have already known about it. You know what I mean?
For sure. Right, dude? Like, and how many of those friends do you still talk to this day?
Like, maybe a handful, if that.
Right. That was something I always fell into, too. Like, I never wanted to be in school to begin with. But once I was, bro, and I had the choice of not being there, I was never there. And I always wanted to impress the friends or be cool, and, like, I already know what I need to know to get by in life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you ever know.
Oh, no.
You can always grow and improve because there's always a next level. There's always someone in a spot that you want to get to next.
Yeah. And I noticed, like, from me not paying attention, and I went back to, like, my trade school one day, and I actually went to go talk to them, like, all the students in there.
Mm-hmm.
They had asked me, well, what's one thing you wish you would have done while you were here? I was like, paid attention more. And my instructor, he was all like, what did you say? I was like, paid attention more. Like, I wish I would have, because if I would have paid more attention and not goofed around so much, they probably would have played out different.
For sure.
But I'm not saying that, I couldn't do something and I gave up. It took me a little bit longer to master it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It took me a little bit longer just to say, okay, well, I was fucking up at that point, and I mean, I had A's and B's, C's, you know what I mean, in school, so I wasn't like a trouble kid or anything. I was a clown. I always liked being center of attention.
Right.
Or I like picking on people, like, but not like being a bully, but like just having fun.
Just joking
you know
with
what I
them,
mean?
yeah. Well, joking to us, but maybe not to them. I get it.
But I'm like that because I grew up with so many brothers. We picked on each other. Every time we wanted to fight, we fought. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure. I was just talking about that with my neighbors yesterday. They were having fun, and they started like wrestling each other. And then when they were done, they were just like in better moods, and they were talking about it. And I was like, dude, that's the same thing we used to do in the Marine Corps, right? Like, when we got bored or we got angry or someone's testosterone was too high, we just beat the shit out of each other. We just like fought with each other, right? But then afterwards, you go right back to being boys, like nothing ever happened. So you got to take that anger and aggression that's naturally in us, and we got to like release it.
yeah.
And also, if you were mad at somebody, you got to take it out on them, right? But
For sure.
on your bad days, what helps you? What do you do to pull yourself out of it?
When I'm having a day that is not going my way, or just I wake up that day in my feelings or whatever it is, I just try to think about everything else. Like, I'm not just here for me. I'm not just here for my clients. I'm not just here for just anybody. I'm here for everybody at the end of the day. Like, I want to be that person that does, hey, I'm ready to go see my barber. Or, hey, I'm ready to go see my brother. Hey, I'm ready to go, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. I want to be that person for them. Like, so I'm not just here for myself. So that's one thing I always have to tell myself. Even when I'm not even feeling down or feeling a certain type of way, it's just, I just know what I have to do, because I'm very, like, I feel like I'm the problem solver in my family. At least I try to be.
Yeah.
It may not come off like that.
No, I get it.
But I try to be, and just try to be a better person for them, and especially if they're going through something, I want to be their backbone for them.
Okay.
So, like I might be in my storm, but your storm might be bigger than mine. So let's help you. You know what I mean?
Do you feel that that's beneficial to you, or do you think that you're suppressing your feelings and you're just waiting to explode down the road?
No. Yes and no. Because at the end of the day, I feel like no problem could be that big, but there can be. But I kind of try to have them figure out a different way to attack it. And then, let's say something in my situation comes up similar. Now I gave him advice. Why can't I just take that advice to help me out?
Right.
You know what I
But
mean?
do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
9 times out of 10 I do. But
Okay.
there's sometimes where my lady does have to tell me, hey, you're overthinking about this. Like, you're fine. Like, you know what you just told that person? Think about it. Because you just got to relate to it the same way.
See, when I've been giving advice lately, I'm like, I'm letting you know I'm gonna say you and you and you, but I'm literally talking to myself, but talking to you instead, you know?
Yeah.
So that's very helpful. I used to be the one that would bottle all my shit up, sweep it underneath the rug, but then be there for everybody else.
I'm still like that.
Well,
Huh?
okay, go ahead.
I'm still like that, and I don't know, like, I just feel like my problems aren't as big as anybody else's, so I rather just hear you guys, because it gives me a second to not think about mine.
Right.
To not think about what I was just stressing about. And then once that's over, like, I stop thinking about it. I'm like, bro, why am I tripping? Like, it's gonna overcome everything, it's gonna pass over, and that's it.
Well, if you're anything like me, in your 30s, it's going to explode. So just start working on yourself and continue to, like, just better yourself, man. And, like, don't give up these traits that are good for you, like being a barber or working on cars. Like, especially if you start going through something, don't self-isolate yourself from those things.
Yeah.
Make sure you continue doing that because that's you, that's who you are. But you also can't just keep holding everything in. Right? Everybody else's problems may be bigger than yours, but they're not yours.
Yep.
You have to worry about your problems because if you don't worry about those, they're going to start bleeding into you and your girl. And then if you guys have kids in the future, all your childhood, for me, bro, all my childhood trauma was enlightened the moment I had kids. And then when my girls scream and cry, dude, I can guarantee you we were not allowed to scream and cry as a kid. And so, like, that shit sets me off. And then I'm like reflecting on it. I was like, wait, I don't want to be this way towards my daughters. Or I don't want to be this way. I don't want to be that angry. I want them to be able to express themselves and feel safe and free. But at this point, I'm so triggered and so wound up. Like, I can't be the best version of myself.
I feel you.
And so that journal I gave you, bro, like, even if you use it like once a week, once a month, a couple times a year, just start writing shit down, bro. Me personally, I just recently pulled myself out of something deep, but I didn't do it by myself. I went to the VA, got off of certain medications that I was prescribed that just affected me negatively. I all of a sudden started waking up at like 3 to 5 in the morning naturally, and I can't go back to sleep. So I just forced myself to go to the gym, and I'll sit in the parking lot and journal before I go in there. Some days I get like 3 sentences down. Other days I'm like 2.5 pages, and I'm like, all right, I got to stop talking. I got to go work out now. But just start getting shit out. Start working on things now. Even if you think you're great, you're safe, you don't have any issues, you stop lying to yourself right here, right now, because we all do.
Yeah, for sure.
And then another thing that has really been presenting itself in front of me is faith.
Faith?
Yeah,
for sure, bro.
I'm genuinely working on it, and I want to be considered super religious one day, or like not religious. I don't want that stigma, but I want to have my own faith and like complete relationship with God. Right now, it's a challenge for me because of that blind faith, bro, is really hard. And then dealing with the stigmas I grew up hearing or thinking about people that went to church, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's not me, that's not who I am. I don't want to be linked with that, but I'm also I don't give a fuck. Think what you want of me, bro. I'm tired of being this way. I need to be happier. I need to be healthier, not only for myself, but for my kids and my wife and my family.
Facts. And that's one thing me and my lady have been doing a lot more is going to church, bro, and we pray every night, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like, we do a lot more than what I used to do about like, having faith, and, you know, we had a lot of faith that we were going to get our house, and look at us, like, we got our house some way, somehow, like, it worked.
It's awesome.
And at the end of the day, like, when I do feel like I'm over stressed or overwhelmed with anything, how you said, like, oh, I just bottled it up. I bottled it up, but I also talked to, you know, the higher up.
Okay.
So,
see, that's something I didn't do.
I always, especially if I'm really stressed, like, hey, I know you got me. I know you're gonna guide me through this, and if I wasn't strong enough to put myself through this, you wouldn't let me put myself in this position.
Okay.
Knowing that I am strong enough. My senior quote was, God doesn't give his toughest battles God gives his toughest battles to the strongest people.
Well, fuck being strong sometimes, bro. But yeah.
Sometimes we're like, we don't like it, but we look at it differently. And once I look at it like that, I want to just talk about me. Once I look at it like that, like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. Because if I wasn't this strong or that I didn't have that mindset, I wouldn't be in this position.
For sure.
Now that I know, like, okay, there's a reason why this happened. It is happening, and once I figure out that reason, the light's gonna shine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you always had faith in being religious, like growing up, or
Yeah,
something?
it's always been something in my household.
Okay.
My grandma, my mom, my dad.
Did you ever go through a phase where you wanted to like revolt and like not be faithful, or have you that always been a true core value for you?
Yeah, it's pretty much been there. It's just I never held it to the full potential.
Okay. And what helps you hold it to your full potential?
Now,
Yes, sir.
it's just honestly having the right person by my side. The right person by my side is, I felt like that's everything right there. Is having that one person that truly does understand you, and when I can't make stuff out in words, they know exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And having that person where they're like, hey, I know where you're going with this, but the way you're describing it or saying it is wrong. I'm like, okay, well, help me correct it. Help me really bring more to the paper, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And she'll actually sit right there and tell me, like, well, this is how you're feeling. I'm like, you're right. Like, I just didn't know how to put it in words. And that's
Isn't
me.
that
Like, I don't know
weird?
how to put shit in words. Like,
For sure.
tell me to take apart a car or cut some hair, I could do it. But once I start talking about feelings or everything else, it's kind of harder for me, at least.
No, for sure, because growing up, and especially as men, like, I'm just assuming now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were told, like, men don't cry, like,
Yeah.
men aren't emotional, men don't have feelings. Well, what I'm learning is the toughest motherfucker does cry, not the one that holds in his tear and is an asshole to everybody.
Fact.
Like, anybody can try to fight, right? But it takes the stronger person to just, like, all right, dude, sorry you're feeling that way, and, like, keep your composure and not lash back out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but overall, bro, like, I feel like I'm having family like that and being told that it works to a certain extent, because we all have to express ourselves, and some people express themselves in different ways.
Yeah.
Versus, like, if you were to do it a certain way, like, let's say you're going back to drinking, you express yourself by drinking. You know what I mean? And you didn't know you were fighting all these different thoughts and everything until you're actually shit-faced. And then now you're acting out and you're saying all these extra stuff, and you're like, I said that? Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was only in my head, you know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, dude, drinking definitely brings out my demons. But what does being faithful in religion look like to you? Like, do you constantly go to church every day, every week?
We actually had that conversation here in the shop, but to me, it's like being faithful. Yeah, I understand we all can't make it to church. You know, I work every Sunday,
Right.
so I try to go right before I come into work. So I'll get up early, go at 7:00, and there's some days where, hey, this week was hard on me and I didn't get to go. But in the morning, like, as long as you say you're thankful, you pray, and you just go about you and ask for forgiveness for all your sins or whatever. That right there, I might be saying it wrong, so.
No, dude,
but,
I want you to say it the way you say
But
it.
the way I look at it is, like, as long as you're thinking about them, you're taking that time out of your day to say thanks, and to just be there, how would I say it? To pretty much talk to him every day, take that maybe 3 seconds, 4 seconds, whatever it is, the minute, and just say thank you and everything. You're just practicing for later on when you get older, you do want to do more. He's going to be by your side. Like, there's one thing that they say, it's God never forgets, but he forgives.
Right.
And that's one thing. As long as you ask for forgiveness, if they tell you, oh, ask for forgiveness, you know, he's going to work his magic and help you out. Like, okay, well, I'm going to ask for my forgiveness, and everybody asks for it. He ends up helping out everybody else. I'm going to do it too. You know what I mean? And I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. And that's the way I look at it. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean?
I've also learned that like being religious and faithful doesn't even mean you have to go to church. First of all, being church is literally you talking to the boys out in the shop, right? Like what is it, like 3 or more people or something, a gathering?
Yeah.
But I'm also learning it's like how you just having that daily relationship. I've mentioned I was on the phone with I had a meeting on the way here, and we were talking about this as well. And it goes hand in hand with how I feel about LinkedIn per se, right? Like I don't feel like I'm professional enough for LinkedIn, but then I also don't feel like I'm holy enough to like just talk to God, because I'm still gonna be like this motherfucker, or like saying my own things, and I'm like, wait, is he gonna strike me down now because I said it that way? Like I feel like there's a proper etiquette you have to have in talking to the Lord, and I allow that to hold me back from talking to him as often as I should.
Yeah.
But I think you just told me what I need is like, dude, if you do feel like you said something fucked up, be like, yo, I'm sorry. Like, forgive me for that sin, right? But like, I'm just trying to have that relationship.
You're learning. It's a learning curve, because everyday life you're gonna talk a certain way. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You have to switch up when you're talking to like professional people. You learn. When you're talking to the boys, you're gonna say anything and everything inside the book.
For sure.
And then just when you're talking by yourself, whatever comes to mind, you say it, and you just like, oh, maybe I should have said it like that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like you're learning. Everybody learns every day. So it's one of those things where it's like, he's not going to get mad at you, but just watch yourself. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's going to forgive you for saying it like that. He's going to forgive you for being that person. You know, it's one of those things where I feel like forgiveness plays a long way in this.
For sure.
Want to lean you back? Comfortable?
Yeah. How do you
lower this a little bit. Right there.
Do you have like, how do you battle your negative self-talk? I used to just spew in it and just like, all right, yeah, I am a bitch, or yeah, this, or just...
Me, I try to, when it comes to that, like when I'm talking negative about myself, I try not to beat up on myself too much, because at the end of the day, I already had that. I already been through that. I already saw how that is. Why put myself through that again? So instead of thinking so negative or just in my thoughts alone, I just try to psych myself out of it. And I'm pretty good at that, because it's just our inner thoughts, and they don't mean shit. They really don't mean anything, because I can say, oh, well, this haircut was a shitty-ass haircut. Like, damn, I need to do something about it. In reality, the guys in the shop are like, hey, bro, that fucking cut came out sick, bro. Like, you killed it.
Right.
I don't know how or what they see, but they see my face, and like if I'm worried or something, or they'll just really think it's a clean ass haircut.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I overthinking about this? Like, why is there just my thoughts? Like, there's no reason for me to be beating up on myself over there.
For sure, dude. I definitely need to work on my self-talk. Like, I started with my girls right away teaching them to say, like, I'm smart, I'm strong, I'm confident, I'm beautiful. I'm even trying to teach her to be like, I'm a nerd. Like, shit like that. So, like, when you were saying earlier, when people come in the shop, start saying a bunch of bullshit, right? Like, all right, dude, first of all, my dad taught me, not that my dad said worse, my dad taught me, like, that shit's not true. So I feel like when somebody's talking shit to me, it doesn't hurt me until it aligns with my own inner thoughts. And then it will hurt me. Other than that, you can say what the fuck you want about me, bro. I know who I am. But if you align with my inner insecurities, oh shit, it's over.
I feel that. Yeah, and for sure, I get that 110%, because see, when I say like, oh, I don't know how to exactly put stuff into words, That was like one that I was talking about, like right there. Like you said it perfectly the way I was thinking it. It's one of those things that I'm like, we don't have to think like this or be like that, but
For sure. That's why I like talking and asking questions and hearing your opinion of something, because the way you say it or may not say it has a different connection with me.
yeah.
You may say something that I've heard 1,000 times, but you say it in a way that it finally fucking clicks for me. So this podcast is like all personal growth for me too. Like, it's a way for me to vent myself and like talk to other people and have that community again. But it's also great to like learn and grow from one another.
For sure. Yeah, and it is cool, you know what I mean? Like, this is my first time actually doing a podcast like this, and it's gonna help me just better myself. It's gonna help me do everything I need to do.
Damn, you're late, bro. I said 8 a.m. JMach Podcast. You said you were gonna help film. Remember? Don't worry, you're interrupting the video now, but that's cool. Hey, I'm just talking shit, dude. Don't be upset. All right?
Okay, I wasn't here.
All good.
New guy. He's literally the new guy.
The FNG.
But yeah, bro, like, it's gonna just help me better myself on just next time. Let's say you do want to get me on another podcast, or we do want to do something like this. I'm gonna be, bro, it's nothing. Like, why was I tripping over this? And just be yourself and just go about your work.
That's what I was trying to tell you yesterday, right? But I didn't know how to word it properly.
And now that we're here, it's like, okay, well, that was easy. You know what I mean?
True.
Undo your mustache real quick. Look like you need a haircut, bro.
Yeah, I know, I do.
I offered it to him, and he said, "No, I think you should
Well, I
do
don't
a
know, the way
veteran."
he pitched this to me saying it was for veterans, and I'm not a veteran.
That's the way I pitched it to the boss, and then now we're here, though. So
But you're a veteran, so it's fine, you know?
you're serving the veteran
Still
community.
I don't know, you got mustache up on this side.
Yeah, I have a lot of hair, and I don't know what I would want to do with it, so I just keep letting it grow out.
You're open after this? You got an opening?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Nah, man, I don't know. I just told you. I don't
Well,
know
you're
what
on the
I
spot now.
want. I don't know where
Work. Then he's gonna
Spotless.
he's gonna shave you to a 0 all the way to the top like that other
zero.
dude.
Give me a 0 on the sides, brother.
I would like to take some credit, you know, not necessarily that that's the case, but I do like to think that like I'm able to make people feel calm and comfortable
Oh,
and
for sure.
willing to talk.
For sure, bro. And I ain't gonna lie to you. At first, I was really nervous. I was like, well, what are you gonna say? What is gonna happen? Like, is he talking to me? Is he bringing somebody else in and interviewing them? Like, so, and now, like, well, I'll do this again. It's comfortable. It's fun. It's one of those things where I'm like, bro, there ain't nothing wrong with this.
For sure. Well, if you want to do it again, we can. And then I also think it'd be cool if we did like a whole group setting. Like we're all in, like all the boys are in there, and we're just getting haircuts and talking. So
That'd
it's
be
not
cool.
just like exactly one-on-one. It's more like the barbershop
That'd be
chat
cool.
talk, and then he'll get a fucking haircut too.
I'm gonna grab a hot towel real quick.
All right, cool. How do you feel? And he said, "Well, why are you getting a haircut? I don't know what He's like, this gonna be quick,
Well,
man.
'cause
You don't even need a
You
haircut.
did look like you just got a haircut like recently, but no, he showed me. Yeah, there's stuff to do for sure. You got cleaned.
Yeah. Dude, y'all leaving the barbershop, man, like, so I would go long periods of time without getting a haircut, and I would blame it on like my financial issues, right? But the past month or so, I won't allow myself to do that anymore, because if I go past like 3 weeks of no haircut, it fully affects my mental sanity and my self-view and self-worth.
I feel that. Like me, bro, I'm a barber. And I don't get haircuts often.
Yeah.
Just because my hair grows so slow. And another reason why is everyone's so busy, you know what I mean? And if my hair grows so slow and I'm like, I always wear a hat 9 times out of 10.
Right.
All the time. Even with the haircut, I just wear a hat. I've been so used to wearing a hat forever. So it's one of those things where I'm like, I have to. It's a must.
No, for sure. I used to wear hats all the time too, but now I like the freedom of not having to wear a hat all the time. But I still rock them.
Yeah, I have like over 30 hats, 40 hats.
Yeah, you always got a different one on. But you also got like a fucking stylish truck too, so of course you have to have all the accessories.
Have to. I'm actually about to redo my truck. So right now it's that pinkish color,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna do like a red,
Okay.
like a candy apple, red.
Do you do that yourself? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wrap my own truck. My first time ever wrapping a car was my truck.
Damn.
And it came out. It's been solid. It's been doing it for like 2 years. It's been holding up for 2 years. So.
Was it as challenging as you thought?
Oh, bro. It was more challenging than what I would have ever imagined.
I bet.
You gotta think about it. It's like a big old sticker, right?
Yeah.
But you can't have any creases on the corners. You can't have anything like that because it's gonna look funny. And sure enough, bro, the corner of the bed where the towel light meets the bed,
Yeah.
on right above it where it curves,
Mm-hmm.
that alone, that little piece on one side took me 2 hours just to wrap.
Damn.
Because every time I was trying to heat it up and pull it, it would curve on one end. And then on the other end, it was fine. And I'm like, what's going on? So I kept on having to take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on. And the good thing about those is that they, it's forgiving. I could crumble it all up, and it's all stick together, and I'll just heat it up and it'll come apart.
Okay.
So,
Break the bank.
yeah. And it was really nerve-wracking because they only sold it in one length, and that's it. And I was like, oh, well, this one length should be just enough for the whole truck. So I had to make sure I was really careful about
For sure.
where I was going to mess up and where I wasn't.
Have you wrapped anything since?
Just like some clippers. Like I'll do my clippers or
Okay.
little stuff here and there, door handles.
Yeah, I seen somebody wrap their refrigerator and made it into a whole different like aesthetic.
That's dope.
And it's like you take like an old refrigerator that you normally would throw away, but it's still the internal still work fine. You just don't like the looks, and then they changed it, bro. So they probably saved themselves. Yeah, I want to get my car wrapped. I want to find a way to like start advertising the podcast on there. But then sometimes I drive like an asshole. Because like,
You don't want to be that guy.
yeah.
Where's
But I
the
guess-
subscribers go down?
Hey, I guess any publicity is good publicity, right? If someone's gonna reach out and bitch about me, they're talking about us.
Hey, you know that one guy podcast? You know?
And maybe that's just God showing that we needed to cross paths, right? Like
Yeah.
I drove like an asshole, pissed them off, and then they find out that there's more to life than just being angry all the time when they see the podcast.
They'll probably look you up and leave a comment and then realize like, oh, let me watch this douche. And then
For sure.
and then like, oh, I actually like this douche.
They're listening to talk shit to me, and then they just fall in love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because it's a mental health thing, right? So.
Yeah. And if you got road rage, you got mental health things you need to work on.
So what was it like serving your
Son,
what was that?
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just serving.
It was a love-hate relationship, bro. Truthfully, I never seen combat or got deployed like that. So when I got out, I felt like I failed, and it was a struggle. But serving, it was like a love-hate relationship, dude. It was a lot of fun, and then it sucked a lot, but the suck is what brought on a lot of the fun, because you're there with your boys going through the same shit, and then that's why you fight it out, right? Because you're like, fuck, we don't want to be doing this shit, we don't want to be here, whatever, or just whatever the case may be. It definitely plays a role with your ego and pride, because you have this like sense of belonging, and they don't tell us like we're better than everyone, but as soon as we get to boot camp, you're told that civilians are dirty. And like they're dirty ass civilians, and now you're trying to become a dirty ass civilian into a Marine, right? So they build you up into something that they need you to be. Like, not your average person can just choose to wake up and go shoot guns and like potentially have to do things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like they break you down, but the purpose is to rebuild you into who they need you to be. I used to think that I couldn't wait to get out of the Marine Corps so I can have my freedoms back, my liberties, and like just have more time for myself, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I just mentioned is nothing that I needed for my sanity. I need the routine. I need the structure. Too much downtime, bro. It's the devil's playground. What does it say? Idle hands is the devil's playground. Well, I've learned that the hard way. But yeah, dude. Saying you're a Marine, looking in the mirror, wearing your camis for like the first few times, you're like, no fucking way. I made it. And then you almost feel like you're on top of the world. Like you're more than what you really
Unstoppable.
are. Yeah. Like you almost become a dickhead, you know? Because like, dude, I'm a fucking Marine. Like, who are you talking to like that? Like, what do you think you're going to do to me? You think I care? I'm going to go back to my government base and hide in my room and be fine, you know? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. I want to just line up your much real quick. But that's dope, though. Like, overall, you could say you did serve. And probably not for the reasons why you wanted to serve. Like, you didn't get deployed like that. You didn't go get into action. Even though they trained you to be ready at all times. And that time never came. So I'm pretty sure it probably would have been like, damn, was this a waste of time? But at the same time, you're like, okay, well, it wasn't because I did something good out of it. You know what I mean?
For sure. It got me in the best shape of my life. It taught me new things. I got to travel. I went to Oman, which is in the United Arab Nations. I never stayed in I just never would have been there. Got to go from like North Carolina, California, bunch of different places I never would have been. Like growing up as a kid, you're like, dude, I wish I could just blow things up and shoot things and sleep in the field or sleep outside all the time. I got to live that.
And it wasn't as fun as they thought it was. Or it wasn't as they thought it was.
You could take it both ways, right? It was everything I thought it was, and then it was less than what I thought it was, and then other ways it's more, right?
Yeah.
Just like when you're going through, it was just like school. I wish I took more advantage of it, listened more, and learned more, right?
Yeah.
I take that in the Marine Corps, dude. I wish I was a better Marine. I was a pretty good Marine as is, right? But I wish I applied myself more. I wanted to like try to stay under the radar, but that's not who I am, bro. I'm kind of... You're gonna know I'm here.
Yeah, you want to make a statement.
For sure.
And that's good because look what you're doing now.
Yeah, so that's actually, this podcast is what has changed my mindset. Is like, I used to think I failed by getting out of the Marine Corps without going to war and serving my country that way. But my calling and purpose of joining the Marine Corps wasn't to go to war overseas, but to fight this war once we get back home and like fighting against suicide and mental health, right?
Yep.
Because this shit is a struggle.
Yeah, for sure, bro. There's so many. I can say I helped out a lot of. I don't want to say a lot of people, but quite a few people where it's like, man, they were thinking about ending their life, and I'm just like, bro, you don't need to go that route. Like at the end of the day, like, you're much better here than gone.
For sure. And so is everybody around you.
Exactly. And you can't think like that, because at the end of the day, you have that one person that's looking for you, that's looking forward to seeing you every day, looking forward to seeing, be by your, hear your phone call. You know what I mean? Just talking over the phone.
Yeah. And the truth is, bro, the people that you know you helped isn't even the number. You probably helped more people that you don't even know, especially being a barber, bro. Like, people come in here and you're not good at, well, nobody's good at talking about their emotions and feelings, right? We can always be better at it. But a lot of people don't want to come and talk about that shit, but they're the ones that are most likely going to go do something, right? The people that kill themselves usually aren't the ones that are always talking about it. It's the one, like, look at Robin Williams, man. Did you ever expect it out of him?
Nope.
You know, like, I think even, it's either him or Jim Carrey that, like, everybody's going through a battle that you don't know about, or, like, I forget the quote, but it was a good one, so I'll look it up and share it with you later.
For sure.
But yeah, I think that's also a huge thing about this podcast that I need to continue to accept and understand is the numbers may not be where I want them to be, but that doesn't depict exactly what we're doing, who we're helping, or how many people we helped. The people that we helped will mostly never know at least 50%, if not more, of the people we helped, because they're going to continue to move in silence.
For sure.
They're going to present themselves as strong individuals, or maybe weak individuals. It doesn't matter. They're going to present themselves as an individual, but not express like what they actually went through or going through, or how you've helped them.
Yeah.
And then there are the ones and twos that are that person, and then they'll reach out to you privately and secretly, you know, because not everybody needs their shit out there.
Facts.
That's a huge struggle with this podcast. Like, yeah, I kind of want to be popular, but I don't want to be fucking famous, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be able to not go out everywhere and like get to that level.
Enjoy it.
But then if I'm gonna be like helping people and saving people, like, we might as well get there, right?
Yeah.
I just gotta stay true to myself and my family and focus on who I am, not what the image is becoming, in a sense, right?
Yep. You can't let it get to you.
Absolutely.
Because you gotta still think of, you have to still remember, hey, I'm not doing it for this, I'm doing it for this reason.
Oh yeah, dude. And like, I'm literally doing this to save myself just as much, if not more, than I am to save anybody else.
Yep. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna grab some product real quick. That's
Alright,
one thing I
cool.
forgot.
What's up, G? Good lines, bad lines? Are they bad lines? I like it. Can you at least get your beard trim while we're here? You don't have to change it. No pressure, no pressure. Because it'll make you feel better about yourself. I'm just saying, coming from personal experiences. But if you're not ready, I can only lead the horse to water.
Can't force me to drink it.
For sure. So, bro, we talked a lot. Is there anything we missed? Any safe rounds? Like, any business ventures you have? Or how can people find you for their haircut?
You guys can look me up on IG. Is I go by AZ Bisko, AZBISKO, or you could just type in Cisco Martinez, or even here at the barbershop, come see us at our Mirage location, and I can always help you guys out and get to where you guys want to be.
Awesome. That's Master Phades out in El Mirage.
Yep. We're right off of Thunderbird and our Mirage Road.
Okay. My mind's blank, so I'm just going to wrap it up here, but we can continue to stay talking. Because that's usually when all the good shit comes out, right? Like, oh, now the camera's off, now let's talk.
Right. I
But
appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure, bro. I appreciate you. Thanks for taking the time.
Of course.
But yeah, dude, maybe we can start doing like once a month here, or like once every so often here. And
Yeah, that'd be cool.
whether you want to do it by yourself, or like I said, I'll
Have
fill
a-
the chairs up with people.
Yeah, that'd be cool if we could to have the whole shop on board. Probably have to do it like on like after we close,
Okay.
shut down the shop and just have like a little podcast going on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be dope right there.
I think you guys as barbers should already have your own. Like, even if you guys just go on live and leave the camera up. And
That's what I've been thinking about doing.
Yeah.
Is doing it like on TikTok. I see a lot of barbers on TikTok doing it.
Yeah. Well, I got an idea for you. Stop thinking, start doing.
Just do it.
Yeah, because this is my favorite quote that I've read recently. Make it exist, then make it good. Because just like this podcast, bro, I had this idea, I've done things, or there's different things I wanted to do, but I was too afraid, or like I didn't think I was there yet, right? And it's as simple as just getting out of my own way and networking and asking people in my already network for like help and guidance.
Yeah. I'll turn you around real quick, and you're gonna try to look into that mirror.
Looks good. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, dude. So just make shit work and then make it better, or make it exist and then make it better.